Hi everyone, I am Shelby Lee Bellin, and today I wanted to come on to YouTube and have a very long conversation with you guys because I think there's a lot of value I haven't been sharing because I don't think sometimes that it correlates necessarily to business coaching. Sometimes I think just doesn't correlate to everything that I teach, but it's been on my heart to really start a YouTube channel and start giving back to an incredible community of students that I have. For those that don't know, my name is Shelby Bellin. You can find me online pretty much everywhere at Shelby Lee Bellin. I started a mobile bartending company in 2022, and I very quickly grew that to $100,000 in booked events in 12 months of time. I then actually started hiring bartenders to come and work for me. I scaled that company, and then I actually was able to start coaching and educating people how to start their own mobile bartending business and grow their own mobile bartending businesses. To date, I have actually helped several different types of business owners, so mobile bartenders, charcuterie. I have even helped event planners, things of that nature with their business. And here I am today, and I am just feeling, on one hand, very grateful for everything I've been able to create. And money at the end of the day is just energy to me. But my business has brought in over $2.2 million since I opened in, honestly, I registered my LLC in November of 2021 and then really went hard with mobile bartending in 2022, scaled it to this huge educational company. And here I am today, and I'm sitting here on the other side. And it's funny because you think when you hit goals like that, that you don't, that you would cease to have goals, but that's just not the case. And here I am wanting to give even more back because I feel as though I've learned so much when growing this business, things that have irritated me because I didn't realize how much really goes into building a business. When I first started, it was fun and happy-go-lucky. And then, for the past year or so, I've really been like almost what I like to say, hitting my head against the wall. Like, how do I do this? And how do I grow? And all of these things because sometimes it comes to a level of really fine tuning. When I first started my business, it was just like market, 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 sell, 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 book the events, book the events. And then it was like, okay, educate people. Okay, I have a book. Okay, I can sell the book. Okay, I have this, I have that. And it's really exciting in the beginning. And then there's almost this lull that happens, especially once you hit $1 million dollars in revenue with your company overall, where you're just like, oh my gosh, like now I have to like fine tune this business and like look at the data and have that support my journey. And it's been a lot. It's been a lot of work. And something I have just really been steadfast in is manifesting my mindset work, being positive when I want to be negative. And so that's what I kind of want to start talking about even more with you guys is like energetics and how they play such a big role in our business because there will become times in your business where you actually get so obsessed with certain things that there's almost no way you can get the result that you want because you're so obsessed with the result itself instead of the work that needs to go in to get the result. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys about today because, and I'm just gonna lay it all out here. Like I'm gonna be so upfront, so honest about everything. So here we go. All right. So in 2022, started the mobile bar business, scaled it to six figures, started hiring employees. I was finally making good money. Like I actually had money to pay off my credit cards. I actually had money to start like looking around at like different newer vehicles for myself. I was able to finally start feeling like I could actually save money. My husband and I actually would have this little safety box where we would essentially like put cash, like because we could actually put cash away and it just felt really good. I was getting like very large deposits for events. I was able to separate the money that I would need for like wages and payroll and all that stuff. And general business expenses. And then I was able to take some and like pay off my debt and like all this stuff. And I was hitting like 10 to 20K months at times. And then there would be slower times of the year as well, just to be totally transparent with you. So I would have slower months and then I would have really like crazy months where I was, hitting 20K in a month. And I was able to really like plan my finances better and really build a business. Oh my gosh, I think I might cry during this. I did not expect this. I don't even know how many people are going to watch this whole thing, but let me tell you right now, you guys, there were so many times in my business where I did panic and I did freak out and I did feel like it wasn't going to be enough and I was going to have to go get a new 9 to 5 job. And so if you are going through that right now, please hang on and just keep going and just keep fighting and just keep showing up and just keep marketing and just keep selling because there is no better feeling than getting to the other side of that. And you will get there if you do not stop. And I think that's the biggest lesson I've learned is that there are so many people that give up on something right before they were probably about to hit like a huge success, but that will never be me. And I say that so confidently because every single time that there has been a fork in the road or a wrench in the plan, I have literally just pivoted and found a way. And if you pivot and find a way, you will be successful. And so here I was at one point in my business feeling like, okay, there's like some inconsistency. There's some, money is not always just like flowing to me naturally. And instantly, okay, I started journaling and I started writing gratitude lists. I started reading books. This is one of my favorite books, Ready, Fire, Aim. But I wasn't reading this back then. This is a newer read that I did last year. But I was reading books like Badass Habits and Unfuck Yourself and things of that nature. And I fell in love, and maybe I always have been, but I fell in love with learning. And you have got to fall in love with learning if you want to grow a big business. That might mean learning things that bring enjoyment to your life. That's okay. It's okay to do that, okay? But I just want to be very for real with you. I fell in love with learning. And every day I made it a task to like, if there was a problem, I would figure it out. And so when there's a problem of I'm not making money, what do? I figure it out. I try something new. I have had so many failures, it's not even funny. I have had so many good ideas that did not execute well. Thousands, okay? I will talk to my husband and be like, listen to this idea I have every single time he gets home or I get home, depending on who's home and who's not. I have completely retired my husband, by the way, for those that don't know that. So claps for that. Okay. My husband no longer works a 9 to 5 job. He had a business, but my business, like I said at the beginning of this video, has brought in over $2.2 million in gross revenue since I started in 2022, and it is 2026. And so which is incredible, right? But I don't want you to ever think that I have it all figured out. Have I helped several women now quit their 9 to 5 jobs successfully? Yes. But I don't want you to ever think I have it all figured out because the game of business is that you don't. And you want to fall in love with the process of not knowing and not being all who knows because none of us are. And so when I'm making this episode right now, what's on my heart is being more open and transparent about what my processes really look like to have grown such a big business. Because I think sometimes people assume that this was like easy or like handed to me or I was an overnight success. And I was not. I posted, embarrassingly enough, on Instagram for 10 months with no one really liking my videos. And I just kept going. And so if you are at a phase in your business right now, and this is really who this is for, this specific episode is for the person that is in business and keeps hitting her head or his head against the wall saying, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Well, I'm going to tell you right now what you're doing wrong. You keep asking yourself what you're doing wrong. Every time you feel like there is a problem or an issue in your business, you actually escalate that problem and there will be more problems. So I want you to start focusing on the things that you are doing well. This is how I have grown such a big business. If you want to, in a few years from now, be like, I've made $2 million, then I'm telling you right now, fall in love with learning, meditate, journal, pray if you're if you're more religious than spiritual, pray. But I like to meditate personally. Find people that you like and trust to guide you through this experience. I have a business coach because I need that objective point of view. When I have a problem in my business and I can go to someone else and they can objectively tell me what to do instead of being the person in the shoes that's actually going through the minutia of business, it is very helpful. Having someone guide you through, okay, you have this question, you have this problem, and someone guiding you through like, well, how do you get to the best answer for yourself and slash maybe this is the route you take. Some things I've been doing in my business lately that have been really helpful. I consistently hit 50K months with my business, right? So one thing that's been really, really helpful for me is understanding ways in which my brain and thought process works and finding ways around that thought process and the way my brains work and trying to almost one up myself and my own thought process. Something I recently did, and I'll drop this in the show notes for you guys. I recently did a saboteur test, which like tells you the ways in which you are sabotaging yourself with your thought processes. And that was something that was really eye-opening for me. So, doing the saboteur test, something else I've been doing in my business as of recently that's been really helpful and honestly giving me forward momentum of like, I feel really good in my business is setting daily standards for myself. So, like every single day, I will accomplish these very specific tasks. So, if you are in business right now and you want to grow, I want you to really set down. I want you to set out like, okay, every single day I am going to do these daily actions to see results because there is a balance in business, which is we have our masculine and we have our feminine. The masculine is the doer, it's the daily actions, it's the daily standard we set for ourselves. And then the feminine is the receiving. So if I am in a balance of every single morning, I'm going to get up and I'm going to post 3 Instagrams, 3 TikToks, I'm going to send an email, and I'm going to make sure that I essentially meditate, do my mindset work, read a little bit, journal some gratitude things, write down things that keep coming up in my brain. When I do that, okay, my daily standard, I then, for the rest of the day, I really try to relax in the fact that I have put the work in and I go into a receiving mode. Doesn't matter whether you're male or female, there is masculine and feminine energy, and you have to understand that there has to be a good balance of both. I see a lot of people, and honestly, there's a lot of people online that have bigger businesses than me that are very much in their masculine energy. They're doing, they're doing, they're doing, they're doing, they're doing, they're doing, they're doing. And I'm not saying that it's not effective. The more you do, the more results you will have. I'm not going to ever say, "Oh, you can just," I want to word this in a very specific way, but I'm not ever going to say to someone that you can do nothing and expect amazing results. But there's a key piece that a lot of people get wrong with like mindset manifestation, law of attraction, and they really feel like, oh, well, I can just like think my way into like success. That's not what law of attraction is saying at all. What it's saying is that if I meditate and I manifest, I will have actions that feel aligned with who I really am to take in order to get results of my manifestation. So when someone says, I work really, 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 really hard and I'm not seeing any results. Well, that's probably because you aren't aligned with the work that you're doing. You can do all of the work in the world, but if you keep telling yourself the story of, I'm not going to be successful, nobody's booking me, we have to honestly nip that in the bud at the source of what is bothering you or what is hindering your business from moving forward. And so that is why I will consistently tell anybody that is growing a business mindset, reading, learning, listening to meditations, listening to podcasts, and just like really being like a hunter gatherer of information. And then allowing yourself to disconnect by meditating or sitting quietly and just letting your own thought process guide you in the aligned action you should be taking. There are systems, there are strategies, and then there is the story we tell ourselves. And I'm telling you right now that if you are feeling like you're not as successful as you want to be, I want you to embrace the fact that you are so much further than you used to be and pivot your energy towards something positive. Allow yourself, allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to be in complete alignment with what you want and really try to bridge the gap between what you want and where you are and start believing that where you want to go is possible because that is the true work. When I'm making this video, I didn't really know where it was going to go. And I know the people that are meant to listen to this will listen to this. But bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be by believing that you can be who you want to be. And believe that your business can be at the level of what you want it to be at. That is the only work you really have to do. Because when you do that work, there will be aligned actions that you will know to do. It is really energetically possible for you to get everything you want, for your business to reach two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, $10 million quickly. It's just at the speed of which you bridge the gap between where you are right now and where you want to be. And I will be sharing this video and hoping that the right people see it.